This is the final resting place of John D. Rockefeller, the richest man in history. Did you know that John D. Rockefeller was actually ripped off by his own father, and it's the reason he became the richest man in world history? Let me explain. Before he was known as one of the most iconic businessmen of all time, John D. Rockefeller started his career as a 17-year-old bookkeeper in Cleveland, Ohio. A born entrepreneur, he would take his meager earnings and invest them in the commodities market, quickly building a reputation as an awesome trader. He befriended a gentleman named Morris Clark, who eventually approached him with a partnership offer. His proposal was that they would each invest $2,000 into a commodity trading partnership. Frugal and hardworking, Rockefeller had already saved $800 but was short $1,200 to make the partnership work. It was then that he turned to his father, Big Bill Rockefeller, and asked him if he could borrow the money from him. Unlike his reputable son, Big Bill Rockefeller was a known con artist who worked as a traveling salesman going village to village, literally selling snake oil. He told John that he'd be willing to lend him the money, but it would be at a 10% interest rate, which was double the going rate at the time. Having nowhere else to turn, John took the deal. Clark and Rockefeller were officially in business and thrived all through the Civil War years. They eventually branched out beyond trading, ultimately buying one of the biggest refineries in Cleveland, Ohio. Knowing what he brought to his business, Rockefeller knew he didn't actually need Morris or his other business partners. What he did need was more capital. He lined up backing from local Cleveland angel investors, ultimately buying out his partners for $72,000, the equivalent of $1.3 million today. In 1870, they incorporated the legal entity Standard Oil Company, which would go on to become the most powerful company in history and making Rockefeller the richest man in history along the way. About being rich, Rockefeller said, "God gave me my money. I believe the power to make money is a gift from God, to be developed and used to the best of our ability for the good of mankind. I believe it is my duty to make money and still more money and to use the money I make for the good of my fellow man." But it would never have happened without the loan from his snake oil salesman father, who thought he was getting one over on his son. But it was John who had the last laugh, arguably taking that loan with a 10% interest rate into the best deal he ever made.